Hi, my name is Hilton Carter and I'm a plant hoarder. You ever feel that way? I know I sure do. And it feels great. Right? Feels great. Your home feels amazing. People come in and they're like, oh my gosh, am I in a jungle? Am I in an oasis? Yes, that's what you're in. But we plant-loving folks, we have to be very aware of what's happening in our space with all of our plants and making sure they're okay. A few weeks ago, I noticed a lower leaf on my rubber tree had turned yellow. Now, like I've said before, yellowing leaves is a sign of overwatering, but I was like, hey, I know I didn't overwater this plant. And then I realized something, you know what? I should probably check the roots. I lifted the pot up off its base tray, and guess what I found underneath? Nothing but roots just creeping and crawling right out of the drainage hole. Like I've said before, a plant like that must be repotted. You can't just have your roots just sitting there with all the runoff water. That will lead to a root rot. I'll be showing you the process of repotting your plant so that you can avoid root rot. Also, just to give your roots a little bit more room to grow so that your plant can thrive and become just a bigger buddy. First thing you're gonna need are a pair of gloves, some new fresh soil, a spoon or spade, something to scoop up obviously the soil, and then a new fresh pot. The pot has to be 2 inches larger in diameter than its previous home so that those roots can have a little room to spread out. Second, you wanna make sure that the day you're repotting your plant is the same day that you intended to water that plant. A plant that is dry and doesn't have a lot of weight to it is easier to pull up out of the pot than it would be if the plant had just been watered. Next, you're gonna grab your spoon or your spade. You're gonna take a few fresh scoops of soil and dump those into the new pot. You wanna fill at least 1/4 of the pot with fresh soil. You're gonna want to grab that spade, that spoon, and dig around the edges of the pot just to loosen up that soil. Dig around it, loosen up the soil just to break it up a bit. Then you're gonna take the plant in its pot, lay it to the side a bit, give it a bit of a shake. Again, just to loosen it up, just to break it away from the pot itself. Then you're gonna grab the entire plant, lift it straight out of the pot. The dirt and the roots should all be together. This way it's an easier, simple move. Once you have that plant lifted out of the pot, you're gonna break up that soil over the new pot so that some of that extra soil falls into your new pot. As you take your hand and you're breaking up that soil, you're basically loosening up the roots. This will allow the roots to have more space when they are settled into their new pot. Then you're gonna take the plant and place it in the new pot. You settle it in there, then you grab your spade or your spoon and start scooping in more fresh dirt. Fill it up around the edges of the pot until it's completely full. I like to leave at least 1 inch or 2 of space at the top of the pot just to make sure there's room. Just in case you need to add new soil in the future, you have that room to do so. So now you're almost there. The last thing you want to do is fill up a watering can and figure out how much water is now going to be necessary to go all the way through this new pot. So you grab your watering can, fill it with water, and pour it straight through. You want to see that there is water coming out of that drainage hole. So there it is, another way to make sure your plants stay thriving and stay healthy. Repotting is a huge part of the process, so always be aware when your roots are coming through the bottom of the drainage hole to repot them when that is happening. I mean, my rubber tree right now is loving its life. It has a new home. It has space to now reach out and stretch its arms. I hope this helps. Have fun.